Oh, alava wiwa. We see that the Bitcoin price is crashing. So the Bitcoin price crash has actually begun. Now, in this video, let me give you some news because today is going to possibly be the deciding factor whether this crash continues or we actually pump to the upside. And I will also offer my prediction as to what I'm doing. And I'm going to also show you what I'm going to be doing with my trades, because I'm always putting my money where my mouth is. So I hope that you respect that, and for that reason you're subscribed, for that reason you have the notification bell on, so that when we are trading, you're trading together with us. So let's just jump straight into this. Let's first analyze the price performance, because if you look at Bitcoin, a little bit painful, right? Considering we're still above 100,000, but still nonetheless. It's crazy how some of these pullbacks, how powerful they can be, despite the fact that Michael Saylor is just buying like at 100,000, 8 billion plus of Bitcoin. That's why I said that I'm adjusting my price targets for Bitcoin for this cycle, just because there is so much positivity and we're still not at 200,000. So, but that we will discuss shortly. If we look at Bitcoin chart, before I give you the most important news today, and if you zoom out, it doesn't really look that very bad. But again, there is one thing that is happening today that could actually make us retest even the bottom slope here, which also would quite nicely coincide with Bitcoin's. If you actually go into a bigger time frame, you'll see that there is a lot of liquidity sitting around 99,000. This is where a lot of stop losses are. So if the news I'm going to discuss today, the happenings of today will be negative, you can get ready for that. And certainly, will it be an opportunity? Yes, but before then, a lot of pain, and especially a lot of pain for trades like these that I still have. Some are performing, some not very much, but overall, it's okay. It's small drawdown. This is our Christmas Santa rally portfolio, which I'm going to disclose in just a second as to what we're going to be doing with it, because we got to do something with it. And guys, remember that I'm trading also here. For example, the SPX is still doing okay, and Ethereum trade is still doing fine. As you can see, I'm trading over on Bybit, and with the exclusive link of this channel that you can find in the description of this video, you can actually claim up to $30,000 initial deposit bonuses and up to 42% discount on trading fees, which is pretty crazy. But also, as you can see, for example, my Degen meme coin Christmas rally portfolio is on Femex, and with Femex, as an example, you can actually claim up to $8.8 thousand in initial deposit bonuses. And the benefit of Femex is that they have very cool orders like which you can actually check out, and you can actually trade longs and shorts automatically, and it would cancel out the other order. So they have very cool tech, and just generally it's nice to diversify as well, I suppose. So now going back to the chart, our expectations for Bitcoin are pretty clear in the worst case scenario, which we're going to discuss shortly, because there's going to be a catalyst for it today, possibly. When it comes to Ethereum, though, which is what our biggest bet is currently in terms of our futures trades, we have very clear resistance of 4,100. We have very clear support currently of about 3,800, which is actually helping us hover above this breakout line, because we actually broke out of this very major consolidation that we've been in for a very long time. If you actually zoom out, we actually broke out of it, and as long as we actually stay within it and we don't drop below 37.5 to retest, because if we lose 37, it becomes a false break. This is where a lot of stop losses will be triggered in the inverse trades. So it's going to be a big impulse, and possibly another impulse down to something like 3,500. But before you do anything, certainly it has to look a little bit painful, and my Degen trades here for the Christmas rally look a little bit painful, but I want you to understand one simple fact. Let's just go back, let's go to the daily chart, for example, on Ethereum, and let's go back into history. Let's just scroll back and actually go to the same date as we have right now, which is the 18th of December, like all the way back. And let's pay attention to the details, because the market actually sees these things, and the market actually pays attention to it. And oftentimes, you will see very great opportunities in the price itself. So, and if we are back in history, let's find the first, this is 2017. Look at the price action. A top wave, and then finally explosion, which began on December 11th. So, and then we had the peak price in January, so a very nice Christmas Santa rally, like 3x that Ethereum has done. And then in February, like kind of almost beginning of February, we were trying to put in another high, but it failed. So if we go to the next year, we're gonna find something relatively similar. So we have here December, we were dumping like no end in sight. It seemed like we were going to zero. Here, December 17th, remember today's December 18th. December 17th, a very nice pump. It's hard to say where's the peak. The peak was arguably, you could say that it was probably also maybe January. So, but the second peak was kind of, okay, let's say February. Because usually we have peaks in February, give or take the first peaks, and then the second peaks, which usually come closer to summer. So April, May, and sometimes it's sell in May and go away, which doesn't always work. But overall, going in December into Christmas Santa rally and going out in, for example, February has been so far quite lucrative. Now let's go to the next year. Let's pay attention. What do we see? A wave, everything is very negative, and then suddenly look, the first candle comes on the 19th of December. And then we pump, and in February, we've done already what? 3x. And this is the first dump, and here in 2020 we had the pandemic and then the continuation. So it was very extraordinary type of a situation, but it is quite similar to what we have now, but we'll get to it. Let's go to the next year. Let's pay attention. What do we have here? So this is right here, December 24th of 2020. We have a wave, and then parabolic explosion. Very, very obvious at this point, quite frankly. And then when did we have the peak of the market? Oh wow, February, the first peak of the market. Then we have the correction, and then we go into the next parabolic phase. So the next parabolic phases are always questionable in some of these instances, but overall, the first peak is in February. Okay, so let's keep going to the next one. Here is the outlier of all of these scenarios. Here in December, we had this beginning of pump, and then we just went into the bear market. But the situation right now in the market is very different. It was very negative then, and like the liquidity was curving down. Like everything is the opposite of this right now. So this is the outlier where this didn't work. So, and hopefully we're not gonna see the beginning of the bear market for some bad reason, some global war, whatever. There's always 1% chance that we're going into the next few months. It's trading. There's always risk. But if you, for example, go to, again, let's say here, we initially had a wave. So this is 2022, December 20th. Pay attention to the dates. December 20th, the beginning of the insane pump. And then February, our first peak. And then later on, after this sell-off in February, which is what I want to trade, to be honest, I think this year as well, next year. And we had these two peaks, and it also looked like, and we were standing at a very important resistance when it comes to these peaks right here. So I think it's quite clear that, it also looks scary. So there was a lot of fear. And right now we have a very similar situation. And again, February was the first peak. Now let's go into the next year, 2023. Wave, and then we have December 20th. Again, December 20th, which is 2 days away from today, the beginning of the big up move. And then our first peak, again, January, and then in going into February, the second peak. So the main peak, again, about February, March. So the same time window. Again, the same shit. And again, 2 waves. And here, again, we're going into this year, and look, what do we have? A wave, and then the 20th of December, somewhere in this vicinity, it can do whatever, go in fucking circles, but it's gonna pump. So if beyond December 20th, or let's add another one, the latest December 25th, if in this vicinity we don't see the beginning of the major pump, then something is probably intrinsically wrong. So therefore, for the time being, this is a very important area of interest for us. And for myself, I really want to see what is going to happen today with very important news. So now I'm getting to the very important news, which in my opinion is going to decide what is going to happen next with Ethereum. It's all the same thing, Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever. So it's going to have the implication on the entire crypto market. And what is going to be the deciding factor? It's not just going to be the ETF, because the ETF, look, yesterday bought $144 million worth of ETH and have 500 million. They keep buying like crazy. So what is that fear? And I think that what is going to dictate our Christmas Santa rally is this right here. Today, a bit later, we actually have the FOMC meeting. And as this guy says here, that tomorrow is actually the most important FOMC meeting of your life, so read this. And it is happening today. Basically, we currently have the expectation that we're going to have a 25 basis point rate cut today, and nobody's really worried about the fact that, if Fed comes out and doesn't cut rates or says that they're going to pause it, which is theoretically possible because, for example, CPI has risen from 2.4 all the way up to 2.8. PPI has also been adjusted higher. So Fed might say, okay, guys, we got to pause. If that's going to happen, then the market is currently pricing in a rate cut today. If it doesn't happen, we're going to dump. And I think that we might, not see, it might be the beginning of the end, because of the inflation type of a thing. And we could actually see a very negative price performance on all these levels that I showed you on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, however, we're expecting that at least they're going to still do the rate cut, which would be neutral, which would be good. But what is going to matter the most is the context of the dots, as this guy here calls it, dots. At September meeting, the dots showed us 4 rate cuts in 2025. So this is basically the language of Powell in the press conference and him answering questions and delivering his message, from which we need to derive whether they're ready to cut very aggressively in 2025 or whether this current performance of PPI and CPI is going to warrant less cuts in 2025, which is going to be taken by the market as negative. So, but if everything is in line, Powell comes out and says everything is under control, we're cutting the rate, and then we're still planning to go ahead exactly as we did. Neutral, which is positive, and therefore I think in the next 48 hours we could finally be going into this Christmas Santa rally that I've been showing you previously, that has worked almost every single freaking time in the history of crypto. And look, every single time there is almost no exception except for 2021 going into the bear market. So considering this, closing my trade here or taking my profits, or even on these trades here which have corrected a bit, but I added to those positions, or this here with my meme coins, which again, these coins here can do like 5 to 10x in the Christmas Santa rally. Getting out now is just stupid. Again, my expectation is if we don't pump, as I just showed you, before the 25th of December, I'll be deleveraging. Maybe it will be already too late, but this is my expectation. I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and this is our current expectation in light of everything that is happening in the world. We have to go into Christmas Santa rally. But for me right now, before the 20th, in this vicinity, the worst case scenario probably would be like something currently about 3,700 per ETH, where I would be looking to add to my altcoin positions. And guys, remember about Crawler Invest Club. If you want to trade without any analysis and you want to just copy what we do, and there is also a copy trading feature, then I'm going to leave a link to Crawler Invest Club down in the description of this video. It's a great community where you can actually learn how to trade. There's a lot of materials. My full trading course is complimentary in the Invest Club, and you can learn how to trade. It's a great community. You can communicate with other traders. You can post your trades. You can copy our trades as a team and just enjoy this bull run, or even use copy trading feature where you just click one button and you just basically copy what we do. So join us. Link to the club down in the description of this video. Remember about the bonuses on Femex as well as Bybit. Also link down in the description of this video. And as always, peace and love. I'm Kralo. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.